my fellow Americans. My name is Sam Bushman for Liberty United. Hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic. And man, we've got a discussion for you. A discussion that really, in my mind, is something critical. Why now? Because everybody's talking about technology. That's why now. When it comes to war, technology is at the forefront of it, right? When it comes to the economy, technology is at the forefront of it all, right? They want to move us to a digital currency, right? They want to move us to crypto or a government bank, currency that's not physical, that's not even gold and silver as the Constitution calls for. It's not even paper. It's not coin. You can't hold it in your hand. It's digital. It's zeros and ones. So technology is here to stay, and technology seems to just becoming more and more embedded in every aspect of our lives. It's to the point with AI now to where people don't even really know the truth of what's a person. So you hear people have relationships with AI. You're literally having a relationship with a computer chip that overheats, a computer chip that merely can determine on and off pulses, zeros and ones, binary, and nothing more. And that's the problem that we face, folks, when it comes to these discussions, is technology is becoming so pervasive, so involved in our lives. It reminds me of back in the days of the children of Israel. Moses went to get the commandments and came back down and they were worshiping idols, and right? Are we doing the same thing with our technology, with our cars, with our AI, with our computers, and everything's digital, the internet of everything, etc.? And it seems to me that we've gone down this road, and at first you'd say, no, come on, that's crazy. Who on earth would put technology before God? But they're doing polls now. They're really taking polls and asking people, hey, would you have AI as your, quote, significant other? Absolutely, people say. Hey, the AI, responds better in a relationship to me than a real person. Or, hey, would you trust AI to be your spiritual guide? Yes. Would you trust AI to help you, navigate spiritual things? Yes, yes, yes. Half the population is saying yes. And I'm saying, have you lost your minds, my brothers and sisters? God created us and we created technology. Understand the creation shall never, I'm going to say it again, shall never, I got to do it one more time, will never replace the creator. God created us. We're humans. We have a soul. We have a conscience. We have a moral compass. We are endowed with inalienable rights. Technology, computers, transistor radios, transistors, AI, power centers, none of those things are endowed with inalienable rights. None of those things are the creator. Never have been, never will be. Yeah, computers are great at remembering things. They're great at recalling things. They're great at complicated mathematical equations, zeros and ones, remember? They're great at those things. And so it appears that they're almost human, but they're not. You take away the database from AI and it's nothing. It has nothing to draw upon. It can give you nothing. You chop the power to AI and it's nothing. And you can say, well, you snuff out a human and they're nothing. And that's where you're wrong. If you snuff out a human, you get rid of the physical body, but the soul carries on. And that's the difference. The Creator created us in his image. We cannot forget that reality. So it begs the question, is technology good? Is it righteous? Or is it bad? Is it evil? And I submit to you that technology is neither good nor evil. Right? Technology is simply a tool, folks. And there's real questions that related to these tools that are not good or evil. They just exist. Is the dirt good or evil? Well, from the dust thou art created, and to the dust thou shalt return as your physical body. But your spirit is eternal, and there's nothing eternal about physical computers, technology, AI centers, power generation plants, etc., etc. So technology is neither righteous nor evil, but you got to ask some real questions. Who controls the technology? That's a good question, isn't it? What values guide the implementation, the use of technology? What agenda drives its use? Is it used to make people's lives simpler, better, freer? Does it free up our time to have more godly pursuits? If it does, wonderful. But throughout history, ladies and gentlemen, every technological advance has carried both promise and danger, depending on the character, the intentions, and the restraint of those who use it. Think about that for a minute. Throughout history, every major technological advance has something to deal with. There's promise and danger in it all. In the character, the intentions, and the restraint of those using it. And so you got to think about that back in Moses' time. They had their idols. They were using them for evil purposes. God was mad at them. They lost blessings. They got lost and wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. They kept going back to worshiping the equivalent of our day technology. Okay? There's some headlines that I want to read, that I want to highlight, that really typify this problem and show you that it is in the news big time right now. First one, AI adoption accelerates across U.S. businesses. Yes, indeed, more companies are deploying AI tools, and it's reshaping jobs, workflows, customer service, and productivity expectations, right? And it's virtually every industry that's being affected. Yeah, technology's everywhere. And it's going to only become more and more and more so as AI continues to be embedded in your life. Here's the next headline. And I actually rarely agree with this group, but I do this time. Once in a while, even a broken clock is right. And the teachers union are right on this one. Here it is. Teachers union advocates for screens to be banned in early education. So the youngsters, right? The kindergartners, first grade, preschool, second grade, they're saying they don't need technology at all. They don't need screens. And they're saying, you know what? You don't even need AI while you're in grade school at all. It should be at least middle school, if not later. The teachers unions are saying that. They say we need human-centered teaching. Boy, howdy is that the truth, right? But I rarely agree with the teachers union on anything, but I agree with this one. We don't need technology at such an early age that kids don't know what to do without technology. They need to learn to read and write and spell, do math, have relationships with people, give and take and forgive and say I'm sorry, and all those things that create relationships and create long-lasting relationships. And you don't do that through AI that you can just ignore. But even the teachers union gets this one right. Think about that. They're weighing in on it, which tells you it's a huge, huge issue. Some educators and parents are now pushing back against, quote, excessive screen exposure for young children. And they're basically arguing, saying, you know what, this constant technology use may harm your attention span. It may harm your development, and it may harm your social interactions. Wow, so now you have educators and parents on the same page, right? It's tremendous. When do you see educators and parents on the same page? Well, they are in this case because it's becoming such a permeating issue in our society. It reminds me, like I say, of the times of Moses. Is it becoming a worship? An idol? An addiction? Fair question. Social media companies are now facing growing legal pressure over what's called teen harm claims. I'm sorry, teen, not team. Teen harm claims. Yeah, teenagers are being harmed by this technology, by social media. In fact, major technology companies continue facing lawsuits and congressional scrutiny over the allegations that their platforms are truly harming youngsters. They contribute to anxiety, to depression, addiction-like behavior, and mental struggles among youngsters and teenagers, young adults and teenagers. I submit that it's even older people. You've got these older people falling in love with AI, right? I remember back in the day when I was in the early broadcast days, 30 years ago, and this person wanted to marry their TV. And I thought, that's just whacked. It is whacked. But at the same time, now you're starting to see more and more people think AI is the equivalent. Is it turning into an idol? Is it turning into an infatuation? I think the answer is yes. And we need to warn against it. You might say, Sam, you're a broken record. Duh, buddy, we know. I don't think society knows, because if they did, they wouldn't be pursuing this, right? And it's dangerous, folks. Tech CEOs are now going to Capitol Hill. They're called to Capitol Hill over child safety concerns. Believe it or not, executives from Meta, Alphabet, TikTok, Snap, they're all invited to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee regarding online safety risks affecting minors. Think about that. So Congress is involved, parents are involved, the education system is involved, companies are involved. Now the next headline says White House advances new artificial intelligence framework. So now Trump and company, or the government, wants to control the framework for AI. Should we let them? See, I don't think so. Where in the Constitution does it say the government can control your use of a computer? Or your use of artificial intelligence? Or your use of any kind of intelligence, for that matter, artificial or otherwise? Federal officials, they say, continue rolling out a, quote, national AI policy framework aimed at creating federal standards and what they call oversight for artificial intelligence development and deployment. Do you want the government deciding all that for you? See, I don't. Now, do I think there needs to be some regulation, some guidance, some framework of protection? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But do I think it's the government's responsibility to do that, especially at the general or federal level? No, I don't. No, I don't. I think you can create an organization, a nonprofit group that could regulate this industry very nicely. And the problem is we're getting ahead of it. We don't have laws relating to it. We don't have guidelines related to it. What the government's role ought to be, if you want to look at the Constitution, is they should do their very best to create a level playing field. And they should make sure contracts are honored. A level playing field means, hey, you can't give AI to Steve and not to Sam. Well, that's what they're already doing. You've got AI companies that are saying, we got the latest model that's so dangerous, it can be used against people. It can be weaponizing IT, information and technology, to the point where we can't even give it to the population. And the government's like, well, we get a copy. Do you want the government to have technology before you do? Do you trust the government to receive that technology first and vet it and put backdoors in it and control it before you ever even get to see it, much less use it, because they're fearful that you might use it wrongfully? See, I've got a problem with this whole thing, people. It's not good. Now, the next headline says the Trump administration considers, quote, federal safety reviews for advanced AI models before they're publicly released. Federal officials are now reportedly considering executive action that could require security testing and government review of powerful AI systems before they're released to you and me. Well, folks, I'm telling you right now, that's a bad precedent. You let government get ahead of the people on something, and pretty soon the government will use that to control you. Remember the start of the discussion? Technology is neither good nor evil. It depends on who controls it. Do you think the government will control it in your best interest? Or do you think the government will use it to be big brother and spy on you or control you? They're starting to roll out these credit systems in China. They're social credit systems. It's not your credit card and how good you make your payments. It's how you behave. And if they like your behavior, you get rewarded. And if they don't like your behavior, then you get docked. And the more you're docked, then the less you can pay to play in the, quote, digital world. Return to the money thing. Just imagine if they say a dollar isn't really a dollar anymore. A dollar is kind of based on how you behave. And if you don't behave properly, according to what they claim, then your dollar will be worse than somebody else's dollar. It'll be less valuable. See, that's where we're headed, folks, and most people can't see it. People don't realize this technology is a great, wonderful thing if it's in the hands of the right people for the right reasons. The last thing we need is the government to get ahead of us on this technology discussion. I've got 10 points that I want to summarize for kind of a discussion about this a little bit, relating to all these points that I've already made. Here it is. 1, technology is a tool, not a moral being. Okay? A microphone can spread truth or propaganda. AI can help doctors cure diseases or help criminals launch scams. The tool itself, listen carefully, has no conscience. Also, that means has no God-given inalienable rights either. Understand that clear distinction. There's a big distinction between we the people, humans, and the animals. And there's a greater distinction between we the people, animals, and technology, right? Number 2, human character determines technological outcomes. Think about that. Human character determines technological outcomes. The morality behind technology comes from the people designing, funding, regulating, and using technology. Do you really want those global elites, those rich people, billionaires and trillionaires, to decide the details of your technology? The morality behind technology comes from the people designing, funding, regulating, and using it. It's all of us. But the using of it, where most of us live, is at the end of the list, right? Designing it, funding it, regulating it, that really controls the details of who gets to use it and under what circumstances, right? Morality matters. And the people that are leading the technological advancements in today's society don't seem to be a bunch of moral people to me. Number 3, every major technology creates benefits and risks. That's right, benefits and risks. Cars provide freedom, but they can also create accidents, right? The internet connects humanity, but also spreads fraud and addiction. AI follows the same pattern, folks. Understand that, right? Number 4, convenience often arrives before wisdom. Convenience often arrives before wisdom. Society usually adopts new technology faster than it develops the ethical standards that need to surround the technology for ethical standards or safeguards. We need safeguards, folks. We need rails. And government thinks they should put those rails. I don't. I think we the people should put the rails. Number 5, parents and families are losing influence to screens. It used to be they said, hey, if you sit down at the dinner table with your kids and, parents are the great anti-drug. But now screens are taking over. You sit at the dinner table and your kids are on screens if you're not very careful and very conscientious. Many concerns today center on whether technology companies shape children's views more than parents, schools, churches, or communities. Think about that. Many concerns today center on whether screens control kids more than your church, your school, your parents. That's a serious, serious concern to wrestle with. Number 6, AI may become the most powerful force multiplier ever. Think about AI as a force multiplier. Artificial intelligence can dramatically improve productivity, medicine, education, research, but it can also centralize power, ladies and gentlemen, and be used for manipulation at an unprecedented scale. You got to be concerned about that. Before we do 7, I want you to know you need to join us at Liberty United. UnitingLiberty.com is the website. Just go there, sign up, become a member, donate, anything you can do to help spread the word. We're not interested in left and right politics, parties, none of that. We're all about principles. We want to teach the correct principles and let people govern themselves. Join us at UnitingLiberty.com. All right, number 7, technology can strengthen freedom or expand control. Think about that. It can do one or the other. The same digital systems that allow communication and education can also enable censorship, surveillance, social scoring, and information control, right? Beware, it's a double-edged sword, baby. Number 8, profit incentives often conflict with human well-being. Think about that. Many technology platforms are, quote, financially rewarded for maximizing attention, engagement, and dependence, rather than encouraging balance, truth, or healthy behavior. They encourage addiction. Yeah, they literally use psychologists and psychiatrists who research how the brain works, and they learn to create dopamine in the brain and use the Pavlov's dog scenario to try to make sure that you're addicted and you keep punching that bell, punching that bell, punching that bell, right? We've got to basically say technology is something to be used wisely and very carefully. Number 9, regulation alone cannot solve moral problems. Amen to that, folks. Government oversight, ladies and gentlemen, may help reduce abuses, but laws alone will never be able to replace personal responsibility, ethics, strong families, and moral restraint. Never. So understand, it's the people around you that matter. Don't get so involved in these idols or this technology that you ignore the people around you, because, hey, you can have government oversight and it'll help with reducing things. Good laws are good, but it's really about personal responsibility. It's about ethics. It's about strong families. It's about moral restraint. And that requires all of us. And for the youngsters among us, we need to exercise that for them while they learn to do it for themselves. We need to become their mentors, if you will. Number 10, the central question is not, can we build it? The deeper question is, should we build it? And the question becomes cui bono, as the founders taught, right? Who benefits? Who controls it? What safeguards exist or need to exist? And you can put those safeguards in your own family, in your own life. You don't need government to put them there for you. And what values will guide its use? What values govern your use of technology? What safeguards do you have in place personally and on a family level? Who controls it? You or Bill Gates, right? You or Bill Gates? I got a closing thought for you on this topic, ladies and gentlemen. Technology magnifies human intent. And think about that, okay? Think about what I'm saying. Technology magnifies human intent. And that's true with money too. Some people say money is the root of all evil. No, it's the love of money that's the root of all evil. But I say to you that money only accelerates or expands or magnifies who you are. If you're a jerk, money will make you a bigger jerk. If you're a nice, good person, money can increase your service, your kindness, your niceness, whatever you, to other people, right? So technology is just like money. It magnifies human intent. You find out what people are made of with money, and you also find out with technology. In the hands of good people, guided by conscience, technology can bless humanity, big time. But in the hands of corrupt, power-greedy people, manipulated people, or tyranny, or people who want tyranny, the same technology can become very dangerous indeed. The future, folks, will not be decided by technology alone, rather, but by the moral character of the people who build, control, and use it. Okay? I want you to really think about this technology discussion and ask yourself, how does it relate to you personally? Will it enable more freedom for you in your life? Or will it enable more slavery for you in your life? You got to ask that question. And I'm asking employers. I teach AI across the country to businesses, how to use it, how to implement it, how to benefit by it. But I ask these companies this question. AI can give your employee a lot more time on their hands. It could take a great employee that spends a lot of time and really reduce the time they have to spend on certain things. So you as a company have to decide from an ethical point of view, do you want to just carp up all that? Do you want to take an employee that works 50 hours and Have them use AI and then make them work 60 hours but get 100 hours out of them because AI magnifies them? Or do you want to come back and say, listen, let's mutually benefit. You have to work less, but since you produce more output, AI is benefiting us both. You have more family time and more personal time, and I have more business benefit. Will companies be honorable and split that with the employee and be fair and mutually, a win-win situation? Or will they just carp up all the benefit and make the employee even more of a slave than they already have been? What will it be? And you got to ask that question in your own personal life. Is technology righteous or evil? Answer: depends on how you use it. And I'm Sam Bushman, reporting for Liberty United. UnitingLiberty.com is the website. Check out what we do and see if you want to join us. Would love to have you. God save our constitutional republic.